Sup nerds, I'm Tom.
And I'm Aaron.
And we're taking a look at 8-Bit Box. Oh, but 8-Bit Box, that has 3 little games in it. Well, of the mini games, we're taking a look at Stadium. Ba-boom.
It's like the Olympics.
But with high fives.
Stadium comes with a whole lot of cardboard, and it's definitely like the heaviest of the boxes when you're punching all this stuff out. And that's because there's a lot of little mini games within this mini game. This game is like a party game because it plays either 4 or 6 players, and you split up into 2 teams, either red versus blue, and you guys are going to compete in a bunch of different Olympic-style stadium games where you'll be wagering and spending your energy and doing all sorts of fun little silly things to make it around the track, do 10 trials, and hopefully have the most gold and silver and bronze medals to have the most points.
Yeah. And it is important to look at the scoreboard and know how many points each of those things are worth. Because last time we were playing, we were in the last trial, and I looked at like how far ahead my team was, and I'm like, oh, even if we lose this and they get the gold, that's only 4 points. We're more than 4 points ahead of them, but I was miscounting the silver and the bronze when doing so. So we actually did lose that one, and we did lose the game overall, but it's a lot. So there's so much luck in this that it's still a lot of fun, but you don't get butthurt when you lose, because you're like, we literally lost that last trial because it was like a dice rolling thing, and Aaron's teammate rolled literally the single best roll you could get, like double sixes. It was like a natural 20. It was on our very first roll. We were like, oh, so probability of us beating them right now is pretty low.
Yeah, to speak to that one trial, it was a trial where you had to select how much energy you wanted to spend on the trial. And that's what everybody would secretly do. And you can't talk to your partner. And then you'd put it down, and depending on how much energy you spent, that's the different dice you got to roll. And you had to prepay for any rerolls you wanted. So she didn't prepay for any rerolls. She just rolled. And yes, she got the 6 and I think it's a +4. So it made it a 10, which is like you said, it's like rolling 2 6s or a natural 20. It was just the best thing she could get. And I was like, sweet, no matter what I roll, we're like guaranteed to win this part of the challenge.
Now, granted, though, even with that, the dice are, one die is like 2 through 6, one die is like, has some, we'll just get them out here. Yeah. So the green is a regular die, 1 through 6. The blue is like a modifier die with +2 through +4 on it. But then the yellow and the red have negatives on it. One is 50-50 blank, but then -2 and 3, and then one is 1 blank, and then -2, 1, or 3. So Aaron still could have ruined her score if he had paid the amount of energy such that all he got was the green and the 2, a red and a yellow. Yeah. He could have rolled and gotten -3, -3, and a 6. Now he still wouldn't have ruined her score. No, but he would have not added to it, though.
But if I'd have rolled a 1 and 2 -3s, that'd be -5.
Yeah, it's still. But I'm saying, like, the worst. That's not best case scenario, but that's best case scenario on that die and worst case scenario on these dice. But you still could have, like, there's still, depending on how much energy you spent, could have messed up with her score. You spending more energy to get rid of the negative die is what helped you not hurt her. Does that make sense?
Yeah. I spent enough to be safe.
Yes.
And it worked. So there's a whole bunch of trials in the box. Like, you set up 10 of them randomly, and there's actually a few that you put off into the box you won't use. And every time you flip over one, especially the first time you're playing, and even the second time, you're not going to know what's going on. There's a lot of iconography on them, but there is this really cool trial description book, which walks you through every trial. It tells you whether or not you can speak to your partner in the round. It tells you, if you're giving out a first, second, and third place medal, or if you're just giving out a gold to the best team. There's a lot of interesting things. There's actually 2 tiles on the board you can also, where they're interesting, they're called the rest tiles. When you get to them, you have to choose whether or not you're going to rest or still compete. And then when you're competing, you usually spend more energy, and you can possibly win a gold medal while the other team is relaxing. But when they're relaxing, they're gaining more energy, which can help them in the later trials. So,
The only complaint I will have about it, I guess two complaints. One is the resting. You only get +3 energy, and maybe that's just because we were spending way more energy than we ought to have, but it still felt like we were spending the energy we needed to prior to that. Anyways, energy is a much scarcer resource than I would like it to be. I feel like by the time and maybe it's thematic or whatever, by the time you get to the end, you're so exhausted, you have no energy left. But it feels like the final trials, when you need a lot of energy, you're like, I really don't have a lot left. But and again, in all the ones prior to, I felt like I wasn't overspending. It wasn't just like, I still felt like, that was the amount I should have spent to do the thing.
I mean, you did spend a lot of energy when we were golfing, which is supposed to be a relaxing sport. You're like, I'm just
We also
swing.
did spend a lot in the bidding
Yeah.
There's one where you really just bid on energy and to get a medal. And not me, my partner, like Aaron said, was like, 3. And then Ray was like, 20.
Yeah.
Like, what? No.
That was the synchronized dancing one. So it's like there's like
you're not allowed to speak.
Yeah, you're just supposed to be like, spinning your ribbons and stuff, and I don't know how thematically it really works, but you're just like, it was a weird bidding one where you're like, okay, our team is willing to spend 3, and then it goes to the next team, like, our team's willing to spend 4. You just say the number.
You're bidding for our team's energy.
Yeah.
Split between the two. So Ray saying what he actually said was 6. Ray saying 6. I was like, no, I wasn't willing to pay 6 or 3 each or whatever. Mm-hmm. But you were? What?
So you could force Ray to dwindle his energy down more, but you want to keep your team kind of equally energized so that you can compete throughout the rest of the trials. I think that Stadium is a really interesting game concept. Like, this isn't the most iconic one in the 8-bit box. Like, definitely the Pixoid one is, because it looks like Pac-Man and everybody knows Pac-Man. Mm-hmm. This one is, just like a generic sports game. But it's a lot of fun because it's like a party in a box. Mm-hmm. It only supports 4 or 6 players. The 8-bit box console says that it will support 3 through 6 players, but this game won't do the 3 or 5 player because you have 2 teams, and it wouldn't be even to have one team with more because they'd have 25 more energy. Mm-hmm. You definitely have to split up in even teams, so 2 and 6. But it's a lot of fun. It's almost like Mario Party in a way. If you played the new one, there's all these little mini games, and like everyone's different. They all play differently. They all have some of them use dice. Some of them you're just bidding with energy. Some of them you're trying to telepathically communicate. Like, okay, we're only using a little bit of energy because we can't talk, and it's a lot of fun.
It is a lot of fun. I will say there's a little bit of clunkiness the first time you're going to play because you're going to flip over a tile
and go,
what is this? You're going to have to refer to it. But once you know it, the iconography is pretty clear. So your second, third, fourth, hell, even fifth time you play it, you'll definitely know it. It'll go a lot smoother and it'll be a lot faster. And there is a decent amount of luck with dice rolling, but you're mostly just mitigating your luck with your energy and stuff. Mm-hmm. But it's so light. Every mini game takes like 2 minutes. It's so light that you don't feel like the whole. It's not like if a really long game came down to dice rolling, you'd be annoyed. Mm-hmm. But with this, I don't care about the.
Yeah, like 2 or 3 of the mini games are using dice in a typical playthrough. So.
Yeah, the luck factor really isn't an issue at all. I do also really like this one. I still think Pixoid was my favorite. But this one is the best one to introduce, especially if you have 6 players. Mm-hmm. You'll be like, guys, let's split up. Let's do this because this is going to be it's a great warm-up game.
Mm-hmm. And like I said, it feels like a party. It's definitely kind of intro-y out of, I think the Pixoid is like easier to like teach. It's more strategy. This is definitely just, hey, go hog wild and just spend your energy. I mean,
if you're gonna use this as a gateway or an intro or whatever, you should know the tiles. Mm-hmm. You should have played it like 5 times, and then you're like, okay, guys, don't flip this up. Okay, so here's how this works. You guys do this, and then let's go. Okay, flip over. Now you guys have the option to take this or rest. Now remember, we're only getting 3 energy. Blah blah blah. Like you kind of like what I said with Zombie Tsunami. You need one person to kind of run the game if you're teaching new players.
I mean, I guess that solves the 5-player problem. If you're the 5th player, you could just be the announcer and walk people through this game.
That is accurate. And it's so quick, it wouldn't be like, oh man, I didn't get to do anything. But hey, if that sounds interesting to you and you want to know what the other 2 games are like, click the link in the description box down below so you can watch our other 2 videos for the other 8-Bit Box games.
We'll also have a link in the description box down below where you can pick yourself up a copy and have it at your next game night.
And while you're down there, you should definitely subscribe to our channel so you will never be bored. Okay, you start.
You can start at 0 energy or whatever energy.
Hey,
I'm just saying
hey,
that's or
that
whatever
was
you
a
want to
hint.
spend.
No, I
You
was
can
gonna-
start inner
I was
energy,
gonna
or you can
start-
make a stupid choice.
I was
But you
gonna
can
start at 0.
I was just letting you know that was in the rules that the first bit can be 0.
0.
20.
Yeah, 20.
It's combined.
One.
And
No.
the other
1.
3.
6.
Balls.
Say 7. Say 7.